You know, this new treaty reminds me of a marathon, but a marathon with hurdles. And I believe that tonight we have removed the last political hurdle. So we will soon, very soon, have the Lisbon Treaty into force, provided, of course, the Constitutional Court in the Czech Republic does not object to it. But from a political point of view, the last political hurdle was removed today, thanks to the great work of Fredrik Reinfeldt, to the cooperation also of many colleagues around the table. And I'm very happy with this because, as you know, we need this Lisbon Treaty so that we can work with full competences for the benefit of all citizens. There are other issues in the agenda. Tomorrow, I hope we will solve them, mainly the very important issue of climate finance. We start a discussion today. I'm confident that the solution will be found. It's extremely, extremely important that the European Union keeps the leadership role we have been having in all this situation. Just today, I received, and Prime Minister Reinfeldt also received, a letter from Secretary General Ban Ki-moon congratulating the European Union for the leadership role in this matter. We are the leaders fighting climate change. Others have to follow. It's not only for us, it's also for the others to commit to targets, to commit to actions. But I believe financing is a very important part of the global deal in Copenhagen. That is why the European Commission some time ago has put forward some figures for discussion. And I hope that those figures, namely the reference value of 100 billion euros that we said are necessary for financing the fight against climate change by 2020, are going to be approved by the heads of state and government so that we can go for Copenhagen, showing that if the others move, if there is a deal, there will be financing for that deal for the developing countries, for the poorest countries, because they need that support to adapt to climate change and to pursue efforts for the mitigation. So I hope that tomorrow we will achieve an agreement on this. And today, in fact, we achieved a very important political agreement on the Lisbon Treaty. Tomorrow we have to achieve an important deal for the Copenhagen Summit on financing the fight against climate change.
Thank you very much. And this opens the floor for questions. Yep. Ben?
Ben Nimmo, DPA. Two questions for Prime Minister Reinfeldt. With the Czech opt-out, will this now have to be ratified by all other 26 member states? And if so, how do you envisage that being done? And are we right in understanding that there was a representative of President Klaus involved in the negotiations this evening? Or will you now have to contact Klaus to make sure that he approves the deal? Thank you.
We have had Czech representatives here in place in Brussels who was part of this deal, also linked to President Klaus. It was stated a couple of days ago that he was clearly pleased with the solution that the Swedish presidency presented. We had to make sure that this was also accepted by neighboring countries, and this was possible to achieve tonight. So it was an agreement with all the European leaders at the same time. And your first question was on ratification. Well, this means no new ratification round in itself. What we are trying to achieve is this Protocol 30, bringing in the Czech Republic alongside with Poland and United Kingdom. This will be done at a later stage when we have the Lisbon Treaty in place. And I don't know exactly at what time we will have that IGC linked to what, but it will be taken in at a later stage. Therefore, also, it's in the interest of Václav Klaus and those in the Czech Republic who wants to see this to also fulfill now the ratification, because it can only come into force after that.
Okay. Any further questions? Oui, Jean Quatremer du journal Libération. Une question pour les deux présidents. En l'occurrence, ça commence pas à poser un petit problème que 3 pays de l'Union européenne ne partagent pas, la Grande-Bretagne, la Pologne et donc la République tchèque, ne partagent pas les valeurs communes de l'Union. Est-ce que vous ne pensez pas qu'il faudrait peut-être avoir un débat sur ce que l'on fait ensemble? Deuxième question, qu'est-ce qui nous oblige à ratifier le protocole une fois que M. Václav Klaus aura signé le traité de Lisbonne? Après tout, on peut lui faire le même coup, non?
Non, en ce qui concerne la question des valeurs dans la Charte des droits fondamentaux, je tiens à le dire que tous les États membres de l'Union européenne soutiennent les valeurs fondamentaux, qui sont d'ailleurs aussi dans la Convention européenne des droits de l'homme. Vous savez que la Charte des droits fondamentaux, c'est une charte qui est spécifiquement pour les rapports entre les institutions européennes et les États membres, notamment lorsqu'il s'agit de l'exécution du droit communautaire. Et c'est vrai que les États membres ont accepté pour le Royaume-Uni et pour la Pologne un opt-out, et maintenant la République tchèque a demandé aussi le même opt-out. Bon, si vous me demandez mon opinion personnelle, c'est clair. Moi, je n'aime pas ce genre d'opt-out. Soyons absolument clairs. Ce serait beaucoup mieux d'avoir tous les États membres avec la Charte des droits fondamentaux. Mais précisément, comme nous sommes une union d'États et de citoyens, nous devons parfois, pour avoir un accord, faire certaines concessions en reconnaissant la diversité qu'il y a en Europe. Donc soyons clairs, ma position, je crois pouvoir dire la position de la plupart d'entre nous, c'est en faveur de l'adhésion à la Charte des droits fondamentaux, mais il y a des moments où pour pouvoir avancer, l'Union européenne doit reconnaître un peu cette diversité. C'est ce que nous avions fait pour le Royaume-Uni et la Pologne, et aujourd'hui, les États membres ont fait pour la République tchèque. La deuxième question, écoutez, franchement, l'Union européenne est une union de droit, basée dans le droit. Pour nous, le principe de la bonne foi, le principe de la coopération loyale entre institutions est un principe, je dirais, sacré, si nous n'étions pas une organisation laïque. Mais c'est vraiment un principe essentiel. Et donc, je crois que les accords doivent être respectés. Aujourd'hui même, le Premier ministre tchèque nous a informé que même s'il y avait des différences politiques en République tchèque, la Constitution tchèque a toujours été respectée. Donc le président tchèque a pris des positions avec lesquelles beaucoup n'étaient pas d'accord, mais qui étaient en accord avec la Constitution tchèque. Nous, Union européenne, là je parle pour la Commission bien sûr, mais je crois que je pourrais aussi le dire pour le Conseil, nous respectons les principes fondamentaux. Un principe fondamental du droit européen et d'ailleurs du droit international, c'est le principe de la bona fide, ça vient du latin, c'est vraiment de la civilisation européenne, bonne foi. Et donc, je crois que la décision qui a été aujourd'hui prise par le Conseil sera bien sûr respectée par le Conseil. Je crois aussi que les engagements pris par le Premier ministre tchèque aujourd'hui et par le président de la République tchèque, qui les a pris aussi devant le président du Conseil, seront aussi respectés par lui. C'est pourquoi je crois effectivement que nous aurons le traité de Lisbonne très prochainement.
Ok, Lorenzo.
Lorenzo Consoli, Apicom, Italie. Je voulais vous demander deux choses. Une pour le président de la Commission, concernant justement la question de l'opt-out. Est-ce que ça n'aurait pas été suffisant de dire dans une déclaration que la charte des droits fondamentaux ne s'applique pas rétroactivement et qu'elle ne s'applique pas à ce qui n'est pas la législation communautaire? Parce que là, on parle en fait des décrets Benes qui datent de 50 ans en arrière. Et à quoi ça sert l'opt-out si la charte des droits fondamentaux ne s'applique pas à ce type de loi? La deuxième chose, et ça c'est... it's a question for Mr. Reinfeldt actually, on climate. What is the point that you are trying to solve tomorrow? Is there a single point concerning, for instance, the eastern countries? And if I may, a more precise question, is there any discussion about the assigned amount units for the eastern countries? The fact that the hot air they can sell now is not going to be valid anymore for the carbon market after 2012. Is there any discussion on this, or the European Union is determined to stop the possibility to trade this hot air after 2012?
Well, first of all, the decision that was taken was the one requested. And once again, this is very much stated by the Czech president and the Czech government. And we also then had to make clear that this was also acceptable for neighboring countries. It has no such reference as you mentioned. So it's just clear to add them on to the Protocol 30, and that's why we did this. We gave them what we wanted in a manner that everyone could agree upon to open the road for ratification. Then on climate, we are not ready yet. Both me and José Manuel, but also very thoroughly defended the idea that we should have a clear climate mandate coming to Copenhagen from European Union. The climate mandate we need should deliver on the 2-degree target. And it will need both reduction targets, it will need pointing out years to peak for different parts of the world, it needs sectorial approaches, deforestation wordings, but also conclusions on finance. We presented this today, and we have, of course, as always during these summits, reactions from member countries and different papers that they would like us to reflect upon. And we have said that we will come with a new conclusion on these tomorrow morning. And yes, it also reflects some of the concerns concerning emission trading as now mentioned. But we have not solved it. This will be for conclusions tomorrow, and exactly as José Manuel stated, we will try to go for a strong mandate so that we could get a move on the process, which is now standing much too still in the world, to try to solve the climate issue.
Bruno Waterfield, the Daily Telegraph. It's really for Mr. Reinfeldt. Could you tell us a little bit about whether you discussed these rules of procedure for the European Council, and your colleague Ms. Malmström earlier on today was very much backing the Liberal line that this new president should be a chairman rather than a president of Europe. So was that the discussion? Was that the kind of feeling around the table? And because of where I come from, I have to ask you whether the B word came up at all tonight, and I think you know what I mean.
And the B word is not Barroso. No, thank you. No, to be honest, we have not discussed that. I know that there is a lot of talks in the corridors about what is awaiting us at the end of this ratification process. Being in the presidency, I have to be clear to everyone that we have opened the road now with this decision, but we do not have clarification enough to start the consultations on names. a lot of people would like us to do so, but it's no